We're back to the Simply G radio show on the Simply G Media Network. Again, you can go to simplyg.com to find out more information on GJ Reynolds, the playful and powerful warrior, and also simplygmedia.com to listen to all the radio shows, celebrities, and all the different things. And GJ, you know what? He keeps getting better and better and bigger guests, and this guy is one of my favorite all-time greats for sure. So, GJ, how are you? And I know you're excited about this interview.
I'm doing fantastic, Neil. Like we keep saying, it keeps getting better and better, and it just goes to show how blessed our lives we live, and it's an honor and a pleasure to introduce our guest today. And before I get into the accolades, it's a true story of perseverance and never giving up. And as Coach Dale Brown has taught me, and I know we've shared on the show many, many times, is you never, ever quit. You always persevere. And sometimes right before its darkest, dawn is right around the corner. And for this gentleman, he persevered. And to give a little bit of backstory, he came out of college. He was an undrafted quarterback, tried out with the Green Bay Packers, and was in the same camp as, Hall of Fame, Brett Favre and some other great players. And didn't make the team, but he was told by Coach Mariucci that he had the ability. He just needed to get a little more seasoned, and he obviously listened to Coach Mariucci, and he went on and got picked up, and thanks to his lovely wife Brenda, who helped, was cheering him on, and it's a great story of any great man that I've met. They have a great woman, beside him, and obviously I have that with my wife, Alita, and she was definitely in his camp, and so he went on, and then he had the story of stories that all of us as kids get to dream of, and he made it into the NFL. He became an NFL MVP. He became a Super Bowl MVP. He became a Super Bowl champion. And he's won a lot of awards. And one of the things I was looking at, the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award, the Bart Starr Man of the Year Award. I mean, those are given to men of character. And, so please welcome to the show, Kurt Warner. Thanks a lot for being on the show, Kurt.
You bet. My pleasure. That was a long introduction. I don't deserve that long of an introduction. And by the way, did Steve Mariucci tell you that he said I could play? I think he told me that I couldn't play. So we don't want to give him any leniency whatsoever. That he did cut me. He was the first coach to cut me. So we don't want to give him any slack.
Well, what's funny here is that I know you get to work with him, and you can meet him now. Coach Dale Brown, cut me when I was a kid, and cut me, and so I still let him know that. I said, hey, you cut me. I'm still healing from that. 40 years later.
Exactly.
Here's what he said. Coach says, after cutting you, I realized I'll never cut any good talent ever again. So
promise.
All right. Perfect, Kurt. I know that you're going across the country with this great national education initiative, First and Goal. Can you tell us a little bit about it, Kurt?
I can. Ironically enough, about 10 years ago, middle of my career, I went in for my annual physical, and I found out that I had high cholesterol. And I was shocked, good athlete, exercised a lot, good diet, and, I couldn't believe it. And so, I was like, okay, I can handle this. I'm an athlete, I'm a man, I can go take care of this myself. Changed my diet a little bit, continued to exercise, came back year after year, continued to have high cholesterol, and finally sat down with a doctor and go, what's going on here? I thought diet and exercise, could lower cholesterol. And they told me, well, in some cases it can, but in most cases there's a hereditary factor to it. And so, as much as I worked at it, I couldn't get it down. Sat down with my doctor, developed a game plan with the diet, the exercise, but also adding a statin to the mix so I could really control this. I didn't want it to get out of hand. You got some heart disease in my family. My dad just had heart surgery. So it was something that I wanted to take care of early. And so this campaign, First and Goal, we've designed a website. It's at firstandgoalhearthealth.com, and it's really designed to get people into the game and get people to take control of their heart health. on the website. There's some great, easy steps, achievable steps that everybody can take to really get in the game and get things checked out. And the one thing about cholesterol is you can look in the mirror and you go, man, I'm in pretty good shape. I look pretty good. I'm pretty young, but I'm a perfect example that regardless of all that stuff, you can still have high cholesterol, and it can still be something that can cause issues for you in the long term. And so we're just encouraging people to jump on that website and to really get into the game, get checked out. I mean, how much can it hurt to go get your, your cholesterol panel taken and see where you're at, and if there's issues, sit down with your doctor and discuss them.
And, Kurt, GJ, who's not right next to me, but is a tremendous. He's 52 years old, by the way, Kurt, and he really takes his health very seriously. And you're in the best shape of your life, right, GJ? And you see how important it is to get checked out by a doctor to find out, are there things going on with you, right, G? Because you never know what could happen.
Yes, and just to give you a little backstory, Kurt, and I'll keep it short, unlike your intro. I found I was out of shape. I was 1 percentage point from being considered obese, and my wife and Coach Dale Brown actually called me out, and so a little over 2 years ago, I really got serious, and so I've been on this mission of preaching health and then living by example, and I realized, the more, I'm gonna realize how people give up at certain ages, and I see it, especially around 40, people start thinking, hey, look, my best days are behind me, and I'm saying, hey, my best days are ahead of me now, and I'm 52. And I know you're a few years younger than me. I think you're 10 years younger than me, and you're in that early 40s range. And a lot of them think, hey, my best days are behind me, and they just tend to let themselves go. And I say now's the time to step it up. And one thing I learned in doing some research here, there's 71 million Americans are living with high cholesterol. And a lot of them really don't even know that they're living with high cholesterol. So what are some things that you would recommend? I mean, obviously, you were probably getting tested a lot because you're, playing pro ball. What would you recommend to the average person that to do that? What are some of the signs? And if there aren't any of the signs, then, what can some of the steps that they can do?
Yeah, that's the hard thing, is that there aren't any signs. There isn't anything that really tells you that you have high cholesterol. So really the only thing you can do is go in and get tested. And then once you get tested, then you got to sit down with your doctor and come up with a game plan. Like I said, some people, diet and exercise can help them get it down. But for a lot of people, that's not the case. And so for me, it was sitting down with my doctor, and, he put me on a statin. I had some issues with my statin. I had some muscle issues, which is pretty common with some statins. And, I kind of thought, well, they're all the same. And so if I'm having muscle issues with this one, I'll have them with all of them. So kind of kept taking it. And then I sat down with my doctor again, and he kind of laid out some different options for me and said that, they're not all the same. And so right now I'm on my third statin. It's the newest one out there. It's called Livalo. And it's actually metabolized a little different to help you avoid some of those drug-drug interactions. And so I'm on that and having a lot of success with that. And that really becomes the key, is that, there's not necessarily one medication for everybody. Different people are going to react different ways. Different people may be taking different kinds of medications or supplements, different parts of their diet that interact with a certain statin. And so that's what becomes important is once you figure it out, if you do have high cholesterol, you sit down with your doctor, you talk about the options, you talk about the medications you're on, and you set up that game plan like we talked about so you can have that healthy life. Is that I'm the same way. I don't know, maybe my best years are behind me, but in regards to wanting to watch my kids grow up, in regards to being able to run around with my grandkids 20 years from now, 25 years from now, that stuff's important to me. And, I want to take care of things as soon as I possibly can from a health standpoint so that I can do all those things I want to do.
And that's so true. And Kurt, another thing that I was doing as research as well, in part of your initiative, is some people get on medications and then they aren't consistent taking them. They think that they're okay, and then that comes back to haunt you in so many ways. If you don't stay on these medications, if it really truly lowers your cholesterol points, it doesn't start out, Kurt, that you're going to have great success. You have to just continue to stay the course, it sounds like.
well, that's it. Or if one doesn't work for you, doesn't mean there's no medication that'll work for you. Or if one gives you side effects, doesn't mean they're all going to. And that becomes a big part of the process with, a lot of different drugs, but including these statins is, again, sitting down with your doctor and saying, hey, here's my issues. And if you stop, let them know, hey, I stopped taking this for this reason, because it's just too important. Heart disease is the biggest killer in our country. And so the sooner you can get on top of it and attack the issue, the better. And this is a great, easy website, again, firstandgoal.hearthealth.com, that can really make it easy. The steps easy and tangible for you to just go, hey, okay, call my doctor and set up an appointment, and then you go from there.
Absolutely, GJ. And remember, I was bringing up one of the things you always say, stay the course. And a lot of people don't always follow what the doctor says, and especially when the doctor prescribes medication, GJ, and or any type of prescription to get better and healthy. Sometimes people ignore that fact, and that's great that Kurt's educating people like that.
Right. Well, I think, and Kurt sort of alluded in the beginning, he was a pro athlete and he felt like he was in good shape and all, and like I don't need to be, I don't need to be worried about my cholesterol, because then all of a sudden you're like, hey, I got high cholesterol. I think that's with a lot of men, that the ego kicks in, like, hey, I don't need that, or I'm okay, or I don't, I'll wait, and then next thing you know, it's too late. So I think this is a great, it's great that you're utilizing your platform, you're creating that awareness, and I didn't realize 71 million people, Americans. I mean, that's just 71 million Americans. I don't know how many people worldwide.
Exactly.
And so you're creating that awareness, and just going in and get tested, and it's simple. You don't have to worry about it. And I know, like, a lot of people, a lot of guys I know, they're afraid of the doctor. I'm like, what are you afraid of?
That's exactly it. And I think using my platform and having been an athlete, and if you looked at me, you'd say, well, not that guy. And I think that's part of it, is a lot of us just kind of think, oh, I'm in good shape, so I don't need to worry about it. I don't want to go to the doctor. I want to avoid it. And I'm just encouraging guys just to get out there and get it checked out. I mean, what can it hurt? All it can do is give you peace of mind one way or another that you're handling your stuff.
We're talking to Kurt Warner, NFL MVP, NFL Super Bowl champion MVP, NFL Network. So that's what I wanted to bring up next, Kurt. How have you liked life after football, especially being with the NFL Network? Have you been enjoying that?
I'm loving retirement. The schedule's good. I love my work on the NFL Network. I'm still staying involved with the game, getting to work with some of the young players. But more importantly, I'm getting to watch my kids grow up. I'm getting to spend a lot of time at home. I'm coaching my boys in football, watching their games, seeing my daughters cheer. And that kind of stuff is priceless, especially as much time as I spent on the field and away from my family when I was, chasing my dream. Now it's nice to be young enough to be able to really take part in everything that they're doing and still have and accomplish things that I want to accomplish, challenge myself in TV, be able to speak to different organizations, do things with my charity, do different campaigns like this that I really think can make a difference and can save lives for a lot of people. Absolutely.
And so, GJ, you two definitely have promoting health. GJ has a foundation as well, Kurt. And G, you could speak about that for a second, and then we can learn a little bit about Kurt's.
Well, obviously, we started the Mission G Foundation, and basically tackling childhood obesity is a main focus. And I'm a former veteran, and helping veterans transition from the military, and that's our core focus. And obviously, we get in partnership with other foundations that because obviously we meet great people like yourself, and you got a great cause. Hey, if we can help spread the word, we're always willing to do that. So that's something that we do, and you can go to missiong.org to learn more about that. We also have another thing coming. You got 7 kids, and I got 7 kids, so we got a lot.
Oh, wow.
and
that's
Neil's
awesome.
Neil's not too far behind.
I got 5. Yeah, I have 5.
Wow. You don't find that very often. You don't find 7, man. 12 between you. That's pretty awesome. It makes life pretty fun. It makes it busy, but it makes it fun.
Your household's got to be crazy, Kurt, right?
All the time. But that's what makes it great. I mean, it gives you something to live for, to watch your kids, and so much more fun. I mean, as much as I accomplished on the field, I have more fun and get more enjoyment out of watching my kids compete and do their things than anything I did. And so it's just, I don't know what people would do without having a bunch of kids to chase after and figure out what you're going to do next.
All right, well, Kurt, I know that we're definitely coming close to running out of time, but where can we find information, first of all, also on your foundation as well, so our listeners can donate and, again, continue to promote First and Goal, all the different places we can find you?
My foundation is just at kurtwarner.org on the internet. You can find out all the different things that we're doing. We got a lot of great programs that we're still running there. And then information on this. And again, I want everybody to jump on this website and just check it out and take the easy steps to, and the first steps to get into the game. But you can go to firstandgoalhearthealth.com. And there's all kinds of great information there. There's tips there. There's even, a savings card there for those of you that say, well, I'm not going to be able to afford the medication, to help make it more affordable. We just think this is such a huge issue and such an important issue that everybody needs to jump on that website and check it out.
Well, fantastic, Kurt. We'll hope to have you back to give us an update of how things are going with the National Education Initiative and also anything with your foundation or updates with the NFL Network. So I appreciate you calling, and it's great to have another man of faith on the show, and what you're truly doing, a tremendous role model for men of faith, and keep up that great work and keep helping others. So thanks again for calling, Kurt.
You bet, man. Great to talk to both you guys, and keep up what you're doing as well.
All right,
God bless.
God bless. Take care, Kurt. Okay, bye-bye.
Thanks, Kurt.
All right, you're listening to the Simply G Media Network on the Simply G Radio Show, and we'll be back in just a moment.